Friday, everybody. You're listening to the Chocolate Diva Chronicles with me, Angelica Shine, and your Chocolate Diva. Today is a beautiful day. Well, actually, it's kind of a gloomy day, which is really weird because when I walked outside this morning, it was relatively warm. I have a guest today, actually a co-host. I don't know if he's a guest, kind of. My station manager, Steven. Hi, Steven.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
I'm so happy that you're here, and I'm also happy that you selected me for the KDHR internship.
You're very welcome.
Funny thing, I met Steven actually last year when I was a transfer student from Long Beach City College, and I had went to him because I wanted to start my own radio show. And so he was super cool. When I first saw him, I thought you were like a student here.
I get that a lot.
He looks really young. He has like a really baby face, and he has like the aura of an older man, but he has the appearance of like a teenager. And so I went to him and I was like, Steven, like, how do I get in? I thought it was gonna be like some weird long process, like you have to have auditions, you're gonna have to have resumes. He was like, no, did you fill out the application? I was like, yeah. He's like, okay, well let me show you how it works. And so he invited me in the studio and he showed me how everything worked. It took like 3-4 times before I really caught on, and after that, now we're here. And thank you for taking time out your day because I know you're very busy.
Yeah, not a problem. It's happy Friday to you as well. First and
Yes.
foremost, it is gloomy. Funny because it was 75 degrees yesterday.
Exactly.
It's the glory of Los Angeles, I suppose.
Yes, it really is because I was with Steven yesterday. I started my first day of the internship, and we did like this house function, and I guess in the dorm areas. And that was my first day actually DJing, and it was so hot. I had on all black, and I had to pick up some of the equipment. Of course, another a person who's a part of production here, Nick, did most of the work, but I was with him, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's hot. It was cool though because everyone was chilling. They gave us free pizza, which is doubly great. And Steven was like, okay, you guys sit up, and he left.
Mm-hmm.
He was just like, okay, great. He came back at the end, and I'm just like, this is kind of cool, but it's hot. But now it's all gloomy. But anyway, moving on. How do you feel about Kim Kardashian before I hop into this?
How do I personally feel about her? She's famous for God knows what reason at this point.
Right. So I was scrolling down the Shade Room. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but it's like an urban news. You are.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, it's an urban news social media page, and I was just scrolling, going through my notifications, and I saw a picture of her, and she was like naked, like she was in the bed. She had, I guess, it was blurred out. I guess social media has those laws, but it was like blurred out, and she was posed. And this is how I feel about it. I get you want to show off your body, and I get you want to be proud of your post mama bod, because her surrogate just had a baby. She had said a few months ago, but I just feel like it's a little much to be all in the public eye with 3 children now. Like, I just feel like as a mom, I know I hate to put that on moms because moms should still be able to be sexy, but come on now. Like, she was more cautious of that when she was back with like Reggie Bush and Ray J. Like, I remember her crying on the show a few seasons ago on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Like, when it first came on, she was crying about her sex tape, and she didn't want to be looked at as like someone who is just known for her body. And now she's always posting on social media naked. I just feel like that's a little too much.
You said exactly what I was about to say, in that she's, honestly, a lot of people, myself included, knew about her when her sex tape came out. That's the first time I'd heard of the Kardashian family. She's always saying, don't label me as a porn star, don't label me as this person who's just known for a body, but then, as you mentioned, she's posting images like this every single day, it seems like.
Exactly.
So you're feeding into that mantra, but you don't want people to call you what it is.
And I just feel like, agreeing with what you're saying, I just feel like, what do you want to be known for? Because I feel like Kim had a great thing going for her. Like, when she first came out, she's like, I want to do hair extensions, I want to do makeup lines, clothing lines. They had their store Dash, and now it's just like she's being reduced to doing Instagram thotty poses. And look, if you're an Instagram model, as they're so called, that's fine. Get your coins how you're gonna get them. But to be Kim Kardashian and always kind of wanting to stray away from that image and to consistently keep going back, I just feel like that's like a double message. Because it's like, okay, you're Kim Kardashian, but then you're doing these types of poses. It's like, Do you not want to be considered an Instagram model per se, or do you? It's kind of like one of those things, because you know she does do advertisements on Instagram. She kind of built social media in a sense, but yet she still doesn't want to be considered that way. It's just kind of confusing in my opinion.
It really is, and I still recall there was one instance where there was an image of her posted on her Instagram account, and the caption was, "My child got into my phone and chose this photo. I don't know why that is." And it was a beautifully professionally taken photo off of someone's phone. I was like, well, this 2-year-old takes better photos than I do, which is pretty bizarre. But again, it's just feeding into that mantra of, this is how I'm acting, but don't call me what I am. But I'm doing everything that classifies myself to be an Instagram model, whatever it is it might be.
Exactly. And I just feel like, Kim, do you just own it in a sense? Because Amber Rose does that, Blac Chyna does that, and they're very okay with it. They're like, hey, that's what I do, that's how I get my money, that's how I got my fame, whatever. So I just feel like, do you just don't be surprised when you're put in a certain category. But anyway, moving on from that, Hooters. Hooters is now going to deliver. And I love wings. Like, I really like Tierney, Jessica. Everyone who knows me knows I'm obsessed with hot wings. I love a good wing. And Hooters, when I finally realized like they're going to deliver, because I always felt that way. Buffalo Wild Wings needs to hop on the train, because I feel like in the days of takeout and everyone wants quick, fast, easy food, that's a quick way to make bank. Like, delivery.
Yeah, definitely. And it's interesting though, because with things like DoorDash and Uber Eats and all those services,
right,
you kind of feel like they would have just piggybacked off of that idea. I've been to Hooters a couple of times, and personally, I'm not really that big of a fan of the food. I don't really care for it too much. I'm sorry.
What?
I'm sorry. I don't really care for it that much, but I do recall them talking about rebranding about a year ago, kind of changing the outfits that people would be wearing inside, the way the service was going to be. So, I mean, obviously, like you said, it's the next step up, because Sunday, guys are watching football, and you don't want to get off the couch and do anything.
I'm going to pass that statement, because I don't know how anyone dislikes Hooters. However, it is what it is. And I remember, that is true. Like, I've never been to like a wing place or any like sports bar when it's the game is going on. Until last week, me and my friend, we went out to dinner, and we decided, oh, we're going to stay at the bar because it was just crazy packed. And every time, I guess, a person scored. I am into sports. I've played sports before. I used to play basketball for like 10, 11 years. But it was, I guess, football was on. Anyway, and like every time it was just like I felt like I was there. Like and I listen to music loudly. Like, I'm the type of person that I will have on my headphones and I will blast them to the fullest extent. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm probably gonna be deaf by the time I'm 60. But anyway, so I was in a sports bar, and me and my friend were talking, and like I did, like this roar of yelling. Don't know what team they were yelling for, but I was just like, my ears were ringing, and that's like abnormal for me. So I don't know if I'm going to go to another sports bar when it's game season. I don't know if I can take it, and I can take high extents of loud noises. Like, I'm one of those type of people. I really like loud music, being in loud environments, but that was just it for me. I wasn't with it.
It's always fun being that outlier at a sports bar. You're not necessarily a fan of what's being on TV or just the team that are on, but then you're just kind of sitting there, everyone starts yelling, it's like, can you just shut up for 2 seconds? I just want to sit here and eat and have my drink.
You know what? And I loved it. I loved the team enthusiasm. I loved the environment. I loved the quick pace. It was a great restaurant. It was actually Buffalo Wild Wings, because I love wings. But I loved everything that was going on. I just felt like at that point in time, maybe because I had just got off work, I wasn't really prepared for it. And I'm normally the first one in the restaurant. Like, I go when it's open and like for lunch when no one really is there. So to go in there when it was fully packed and then the game was on, that was the first experience. I'm like, so this is what it's like being in a sports bar when the game is on. I never really understood why people went, but after that experience, I could understand why. Because there were strangers at the bar talking about the teams. Not friends, they just was there to get something to eat, but they got enveloped in the game. So I was like, oh, okay, well, I see why people go. It's a great bonding experience, especially if you're into sports.
Yeah, I've gone to a lot of like official watch parties for teams, for baseball, hockey, and football, where it's just all fans of one team in this one particular sports bar.
Yes.
And I've gotten to meet a lot of really close friends through those, just sitting next to someone, and we just start talking, and then here we are today, 5, 6, 7 years later. And those experiences are a lot of fun, because you're, like you said, it's like you're at the game, even though you're just watching a TV projection. Plus, they usually have happy hour deals, which are usually pretty good. Something always hits it up.
They do. And I did not know this. I think because I don't sit at the bar normally. Because I'm just like, I like the whole ambiance experience. I like to sit down at the table, and I like to experience everything. I feel like the bars where you go and it's quick, or where it's like it's empty and you just don't want to wait.
Right.
And so I was sitting at the bar and I looked up. I was like, okay, this is nice. It had the big nice screen TV and everything like that, and it had everyone sitting around. And then I just happened to look at the menu, and it was like 10. This is for Buffalo Wild Wings, but it was like 10 through whatever time. Drinks half off. Wings like $5. I was like, oh my gosh, like whenever I have the midnight lunches, I'm coming here. Because I'm a foodie. Like, I like to eat. Like, I'm one of those types of people I will have a full spread for lunch and will sit in the middle of the cafeteria or the middle of the library, whatever it is, to eat and just act like I'm at a restaurant. Like, I have my music, I have everything, my napkins, utensils. Like, I'm that type of person. So when I always find deals on meals, I'm hyped. I'm just like, oh my gosh. And people are like, oh, like, okay, whatever. I was like, you don't understand. It's like, you're getting a deal, and then on top of that, it tastes good and it's quality. That's the best type of thing for me.
Mm-hmm. And for me, it's advice that I always give to anybody whenever they go to any type of bar. Is the best thing you can do, strike up a conversation with your bartender. Doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter who they are. And I say that because, you know, the town that I live in, there's a couple different bars there. Mm-hmm. Every single one, we know a couple people that work there. Mm-hmm. Every time we go in, our bill is always less than what we need to be paying. And I'm not saying this is like a hack that's going to work 100% of the time, but just show the bartender that you care about this physical person in front of you, and you'll get those deals almost every single time.
I feel that's maybe your experience.
I am at bars a lot. I am at bars a lot.
I feel like that is a personal experience, and I feel like because you have that boyish charm, like because you look like almost. I bet you still get carded when you go to the bar.
I love it when they don't card me because it saves me so much time and effort.
But I feel like that's not. I've tried that. Like I've been really friendly. I'm just friendly all the way around because I feel like if someone's serving you, like why would you be rude? Like they're carrying your life. You know,
exactly.
You know, they have food. I just don't get how people are rude to anyone who's carrying their food or anything that has to do with that matter. But I just feel like, you know, people are great. I've had great service a lot of the times, thankfully, and really great bartenders. But I've never been able to get a discount beyond what they offer. Maybe except when I go to BJ's. I love when I go to BJ's because even though it's not your birthday, they'll still act like it's your birthday. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I wonder if they really are like skeptical of the people, especially if you're a frequent there. Like I would never do it, or at least I'm not the type of person to do it if I go to like the same BJ's. But I've known people who will go to BJ's and maybe go in like a 2-month span, and they'll be like, "It's my birthday every time just to get a free Suzuki." And I'm just like, I always feel bad about that because it's like you're lying to get something free. And even though it's like a small Suzuki, it's like the birthday size Suzuki. I just feel bad about that. It's like I took away a Suzuki from someone who it really was their birthday. Now, what if they run out of Pazookies? Now, I'm going to feel like I took a Pazooki that I did not need, trying to be all, you know, get them that extra discount, and they could run out. I always think like that. That's why I never want to do it.
And you went down a deep rabbit hole.
Imagine that, because I have been in places before where they've run out of things. And I feel like, okay, if it's crowded or it's packed, well, what if someone just ordered that extra, maybe that they didn't need? That could have been someone else's.
Didn't even finish it.
You didn't even finish it. You know how it is. Like you get something because your eyes are bigger than your stomach, and then you don't finish it, and now someone else is looking like, okay, well, I could have ate that, and then you feel bad. At least that's me. See, I'm thinking way too much. Maybe because I'm hungry and I didn't eat before I came in here. But anyway, thank you so much for coming in. I know you have to get back to work, Steven.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate it.
No, thank you.
Stop by anytime.
Shall do. Hopefully in a day when I'm not busy.
Which
might be a while.
It probably is because school is about to start and there's going to be a lot of activities going on.
Yeah, next weekend we have a big conference that we're hosting. Every single Cal State in the system is coming to our campus, so I have to plan and feed all those people.
Oh.
The weekend after that is homecoming here on campus that weekend, and then, it just gets busier from there.
I'm going to actually go to homecoming this year. I always want to go, but then I'm like, I don't have anyone to go with. So I just end up staying home. But I'm just going to whatever. It's my last year, YOLO.
Take a plunge. There you go.
All right, thank you for coming in, Steven.
Thank you.
All right, so I'm going to get into my flashback song of the day, and that's going to be Aaliyah, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number.